TJ Legacy, Soapbox Run the Ropes. There's been some reports leading up to Bad Blood regarding the representation of black male wrestlers within WWE. They haven't been on a PLE in the last 3 cards. There was no black male wrestlers on the Bad Blood card. How do you gauge between making sure that there's representation and making sure that there are wrestlers that get opportunities that are deserved?
I see everybody gets the opportunity. Like if I don't see the difference in anybody, I don't see the color, I don't see the nationality, I don't see any of it. I just see talent. I don't see the difference between men and women. I see talent. We tell stories with those talent, how they can handle those stories and how they can represent those stories and how we can bring those stories forward. So, I don't keep track of any of that. I do what's relevant and what is best the best in storytelling and what's being delivered the best, and then that's what goes. No different than the men and the women who main events, whatever the biggest stories are. That's where we go.
Next question here on the left third row.
What's up, Pro Wrestling World? It's your boy JB coming to you with Triple H's response to the no black representation in WWE. The question was surrounding what has been going around on Twitter. Like, I follow a lot of stuff on Twitter just to keep up with what people are thinking. And I think that may have flowed up to the reporters to ask this question, but the question was surrounding the black representation in WWE PLEs and as champions in general. So Triple H gave a response that was not very good. I heard what he was trying to do there. But this whole I don't see color is unreal. You see color. Everybody sees color. You walk down the street, you're going to identify an Asian man, a white woman, a black woman, a white man, a black man. We should see color, and we should identify. We should, as we see color, as we see people who come from different nationalities and different ethnicities, it's the beautiful human spectrum. But you should respect that person and where they and their culture. And if they stand for good, and if they stand for justice, and if they stand for equality, there's nothing wrong with seeing color. It's not. Clearly, I'm a black man. I want you to see me as a black man. Like, obviously, I'm a human. Let's not do this, especially in America. And we know the history of America, okay? There's nothing wrong with seeing color. There's nothing wrong with seeing that I'm a black man. There's nothing wrong with seeing that I'm a man. So Triple H answered that question was kind of ridiculous, but I understood where he was trying to go. So there's a lot of speculation about Triple H being a racist based on what MVP said about Triple H when him and the Hurt Business left WWE for AEW. MVP was saying like Triple H is threatened by black man's presence and doesn't book black people the right way. If you notice, Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business thrived on the Vince. I mean, Bobby Lashley became a champion. Bobby Lashley had a lot of success under Vince's leadership, but Triple H and him didn't quite connect. And you can tell Bobby Lashley was just all over the place. He was putting over Austin Theory, and then he got thrown in with the Street Profits and B-Fab, and they were supposed to form this faction. Another thing about Triple H not seeing color, I mean, you got the LWO, you got the Damage Control that's mainly Japanese. You had Bobby Lashley team with the Street Profits and B-Fab. So clearly these are ethnic factions. Okay, so Triple H, somebody sees color. If Triple H doesn't see it, somebody sees color enough to put these factions together based on ethnicity. Okay, so something's going on there. But Triple H had that history with what MVP was said. Triple H also has a history as a wrestler. Now, I'm not going to beat him up for what he did in the Attitude Era because a lot of that probably was Vince's booking. But Triple H had a very controversial segment where, DX came out as blackface, imitating The Rock and some other black wrestlers. Triple H cut a promo on Booker T saying champions don't look like you. Clearly, Booker T is a black man with dreadlocks, and he's from, I think, Houston, So, all that going on, right? So, all of this is piling up into saying Triple H is a racist. Easy or easy not, I can't say. He has done some questionable things that make you think he's a racist, definitely. But the question about black representation in WWE should have been framed a little better. So, Triple H, I can't fault him for it. What did Triple H do? He sends Sexy Red out there. Now, Sexy Red is from St. Louis. I think she's a St. Louis rapper. Sexy Red came out there on the show tonight. And, she did her thing. But the show opened up with Trick Williams, celebrating his championship. Trick Williams, obviously, a black man. I don't know if Triple H sees color or not, or if Triple H knows that is a black man. Triple H said he doesn't see color, he doesn't see gender, he sees talent. Trick Williams, black man, NXT champion. He's trying to cut a promo, to only be interrupted by another black man, a very phenomenal wrestler in Wesley. Wesley, black man, challenges Trick Williams, black man, who's a champion, for his NXT title. Now, this is the opening segment of NXT. Mind you, the question was asked to Triple H on last Saturday, and this is the following Tuesday. So, black man challenges black man for the NXT championship, only to be interrupted by Jey Uso. Only to be interrupted by main event Jey Uso, who is a Samoan. He's a island brother. He's an islander brother. Poly brother. Jey Uso is married to a black woman that has, I think, 2 or 3 sons. Married to a black woman. Jey Uso. I went to college with the Usos. I don't want to date myself, but when they were playing football for the University of West Alabama, I am from Alabama, and I was there when they did like 2 or 3 years there before they went to pursue their wrestling career. So it's special when I see Jey Uso and his brother Jimmy. But Jey Uso interrupts Trick Williams. So you got 3 people of color right there. Now, Jey Uso isn't black, but he's married to a black woman. Full of color champions, right? They cutting promos, getting the crowd hyped, doing a yeet, whoop that trick. Only for them to be interrupted by the music of Kalani Jordan, who is a black woman, North American champion, who is in a match with the women's tag team champions of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who are black women. Jade Cargill is of Jamaican heritage, but she grew up in America. Black women. 3 black women. 3 black women who are champions are walking to the ring for a match. And guess what? Just so Triple H can continue to let you know, I'm thinking Trick Williams and Jey Uso are out of the ring, right? Jey Uso and Trick Williams are still in the ring as Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Kalani Jordan have entered the ring. So you have 4 black people who are champions, all in the ring together, with a man who is non-white in Jey Uso, who is the Intercontinental Champion. Trick Williams is the Men's NXT Champion. Kalani Jordan is your Women's North American Champion. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are your Tag Team Champions. Black women, black man, Samoan man. All sitting there in the ring, man. That was Triple H saying, I don't even want to throw it up, but he was giving the media and everybody and the people on the internet this finger right here. I don't want to throw it up, but a big FU symbolically from Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I can't even be mad at what Triple H did right there. He said, you know what? Opening segment on this show. Let's let them know what time it is. Black excellence in the ring, man. Trick Williams, Kalani Jordan, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, all champions. Jey Uso. Wes Lee is about to enter into the title picture to challenge Trick Williams. Obafemi, who is a man of African descent, is your longest reigning North American champion. All of your champions in NXT currently, well, Oba just dropped the belt, but before Oba dropped the belt tonight, all of your champions in NXT are black or Latino. All of your top women and men on the card are black or Latino with a little dabble of white. Roxanne Perez, your women's champion. Trick Williams, your men's champion. Obafemi now lost to Tony D, who is Italian, but Obafemi was your champion. Kalani Jordan is your NA champion. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair on the main roster are your tag team champions. That's why people were attacking this question, because on the NXT, it shouldn't be a black person, including myself, complaining about the representation of what WWE is doing with black talent. What do we have on the main roster? Let's talk about Raw real quick. So on Raw, the people that get the most TV time is R-Truth and The New Day. And we had Odyssey Jones before he looked like Odyssey Jones was about to get a crazy push. And he was going to replace Big E, who was a champion, a world champion as well. Big E, he was going to replace him for The New Day. But then he got into some trouble and they had to eventually just write him off TV and fire him, unfortunately. But on Monday Night Raw, your main people to get TV time, Jade and Bianca, they can float back in between the two brands, but it's really The New Day and R-Truth. R-Truth, who has not had a lot of success in WrestleManias, won with The Miz the tag team championships, and they held it for like 80 days. R-Truth is more of a comical character, and he had a moment. He held gold this year. R-Truth, I think R-Truth may probably be in his late 40s or early 50s, man. R-Truth is in the twilight of his career, so I don't expect these crazy pushes from R-Truth. R-Truth is not buried. R-Truth had a successful career. The New Day are not buried, of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. They get TV time every week, okay? They're not buried. They're in a very good storyline of a potential breakup between the two. I think they may be 8 or 11-time tag champions along with Big E. Kofi Kingston was a world champion. I don't like how he was booked to lose to Brock Lesnar in a squash match 5 years ago on SmackDown. I do not like what happened to him on that. But he is a former world champion. I think he's a multi-time intercontinental champion, a multi-time tag champion. Xavier Woods, king of the ring. Xavier Woods, king of the ring, and a multi-time tag champion. Only thing Xavier Woods needs to do is win singles gold. Xavier Woods is involved in a compelling story with Kofi Kingston and the Final Testament, so they're not buried. Neither one of those guys are buried. There's no reason for them to win tag team champions again. They did everything you can do as a tag team. Hell in a Cell, multi-time champions. There's nothing else they need to do as tag champions. So this story of the breakup is good because this is going to get Xavier Woods a chance to pursue a singles career. Now, I would like to see Xavier Woods eventually win the Intercontinental Championship because I think he is a great individual in-ring performer. He's good on the mic. He's got good presentation. And he should, down the road, at some point, be in the mix with Chad Gable and Bronson Reed and Jey Uso and Braun Breaker, be fighting and competing for an Intercontinental Championship. So neither one of those guys are buried, along with R-Truth. And if I missed somebody, guys, please let me know in the comments. If we pivot to SmackDown, we got Naomi, we got Jade and Bianca, and we got Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews and the Street Profits. I will say Apollo Crews is kind of buried, but Apollo Crews' character, he's great in ring, but I never seen him on the mic, and I don't know. Okay? Carmelo Hayes, now, if they bury Carmelo Hayes, then that's when my eyebrows going to get raised about Triple H. Because Carmelo Hayes is great on the mic. He got great camera work. He's great in the ring. And he's being featured. He's in the rivalry with Andrade. And I think he got a victory over AJ Styles recently. So I think he's about to get a shot against LA Knight, who is the U.S. champion on SmackDown. Now, Carmelo Hayes needs to win the United States Championship by the end of the year or early next year. You got to put a belt on Carmelo Hayes. He's just that great. Jade and Bianca are obviously your tag champions. Naomi is constantly getting TV time. They're teasing a breakup between Bayley and Naomi. So she's not buried. Guys, buried. Buried is when you're literally catering. You're not getting no TV time. You're jobbing every time you go out there. Naomi is winning matches, okay? She's constantly getting TV time every week. Now, eventually I think the last PLE she was in was Money in the Bank. So you would like to see black talent in more PLEs. Now, I will say that was a fair criticism. We want to see on the main roster more black talent in PLEs, okay? But we can't say black talent is buried on the main roster because it's not. Naomi is winning matches. Naomi is getting TV time. The women can only fight for 3 belts until they bring a mid-card title in. So just because somebody is not world champion does not mean they're buried. As long as they're getting TV time, as long as they're in a storyline, they're fine. Now, when they get merch, go buy the merch. Show that they're a revenue generator, and it'll force the Triple H's of the world to put a belt on them. Case in point, Jey Uso. Jey Uso has been in the top 5 for merch for over a year. Triple H said, I got to put a belt on this dude. He's way over and he's bringing us money in. I'm sorry, Braun Breaker. Belt's going on Jey Uso. So y'all out here clamoring for Naomi, buy her merch. She's not buried. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are not buried. They're tag team champions defending their belt on all 3 brands. Apollo Crews, I don't know what quite is going on with him. Street Profits. They are Triple Crown tag team champions. Now, at some point, I would like to personally see Montez Ford, who is very capable to go on the singles run. I think he can be United States champion. He can be even a possible world champion. He's got the charisma. He's great on the mic. He's great in ring. So whenever he decides he wants a single run, I think he should go to Triple H and ask for that and grind for that. But the Street Profits have been booked strong as a tag team. They're not obviously winning the belt against the Bloodline, but they 3 years removed from being their last championship reign. They are not buried. They're constantly on TV every week. The next step, though, is I do agree that we want to see more black talent in bigger storylines and on PLEs. I think Carmelo Hayes can do that. I think Naomi can do that on SmackDown. Now, Raw, Xavier Woods going after the IC title. I do think maybe with the call-ups, maybe Trick Williams get calls up and goes to Raw next year. I think Trick Williams is oozing with charisma. Obafemi probably needs to be on the main roster, if not next year, the year after. Now, if Trick Williams and Obafemi, who are oozing with charisma, who has great in-ring work and great on the microphone, if they go to the main roster and get buried, then you can go after Triple H. Because then you could be like, okay, dude, you might be a racist. And this is coming from a prideful black man who has analyzed this. No one is buried on the main roster as far as black talent. It'd be nice to see a black man become champion again in WWE. But that's probably going to have to come from either Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, or Obafemi. Right? So, again, black talent is well represented on NXT. It's represented on the main roster, but it's just not to the level that it is on the NXT. But I think that's the next step. We need to get black talent to grind, work themselves into the bigger storylines, onto PLEs. That's my take on Triple H's response tonight on the WWE's NXT network on the opening segment. And I want to revisit this. I want to revisit this conversation maybe this time in the summer of next year. And we'll see if there's progress, so to speak, being made. Thank you, Pro Wrestling World. My next video is probably going to be the AEW Wrestle Dream preview or the Jade Cargill 1 year in WWE. Until then, Pro Wrestling World, peace out.